Now at 9, one Muncie company hosted a fundraiser for an upcoming event. Find out more about the upcoming Ball State Dance Marathon.
And a bill that will bring needed aid to the Indiana childcare crisis. Find out more.
Also, the Department of Homeland Security plans to issue body cameras to federal officers. We have the details.
And the man charged for the assassination of Charlie Kirk is back in court. Find out more on the case.
I'm tracking possible snow flurries. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Peyton Mucker.
And I'm Amelia Winter.
Ball State University is looking forward to hosting their annual Dance Marathon fundraising event this Saturday, February 7th.
NewsLink Indiana's Tatum Harris took a trip to Barry Winkle's frozen yogurt shop to get the scoop on their fundraising efforts thus far.
Ball State Dance Marathon, an organization on campus dedicated to fundraising and supporting the Riley Children's Hospital and many of their young patients, spent the last week celebrating their Week of Miracles. Formerly a month of events, the fundraising, recruiting, and morale-building events have since been condensed into one joy-filled week of celebrations. On Friday afternoon, BSUDM took their fundraising efforts to Barry Winkle's frozen yogurt shop.
We think of our Week of Miracles as like a happy, hopeful event, and what better way to celebrate that than with ice cream.
The Dine to Donate event served as a finale for the Week of Miracles. The Muncie community joined several of BSUDM's members to enjoy a frozen treat and support the children being treated at Riley Hospital.
This event is really important to us. We really appreciate when businesses are willing to pair with us because it's mutually beneficial. So we bring customers into them and they bring funds back to our children's hospital.
The event was not only essential for fundraising, but for team building. At Barry Winkle and the various events taking place in the days prior, BSUDM members were given the opportunity to connect with Riley families and recenter with their mission to help those in need by making healthcare more accessible for children. Other events included their Night of Hope, designed to inspire and connect the Riley children with the community, which took place on Tuesday night, as well as their beloved Battleships Game Night, which raised awareness for their fundraising campaign and encouraged participation of other student organizations on Ball State's campus.
It's really this big buildup of miracles that we use to catapult ourselves into next week, which is our Week of Marathon.
Executive board members like Megan Moshak have worked very hard all semester to help BSUDM reach their ultimate goal of creating hope and uniting to heal those who need our help the most. In Muncie, Tatum Harris, NewsLink, Indiana.
The Dance Marathon is happening this Saturday, February 7th, in the Student Recreation and Wellness Center on Ball State's campus.
To donate or register for the event, visit bsudm.org. The Indiana Senate passed a bill last Thursday. If approved, the $300 million fund will aim to pump immediate action towards the state's child care crisis. NewsLink Indiana's Lauren Burris visited United Daycare Center to find out if this fund will provide a light at the end of the tunnel.
After over roughly 3 months, cuts to child care vouchers has been an ongoing crisis to families and daycares across Indiana. And here in Muncie, United Daycare Center has faced the heat of these cuts.
Our families are going to be devastated. We have a holistic approach because we know our children, a lot of them are food insecure, a lot of them don't have dependable housing.
United Daycare Center's mission is to be a hub for affordable childcare and early childhood education. However, Johnson said the daycare has been facing several challenges. They let 6 employees go for financial reasons, decreased their staff trainings, and have been searching for cheaper food services. 3 years ago, United Daycare built on more classrooms due to sufficient funding and an extensive waiting list. They are now left with empty classrooms and less children to support. But Delaware County isn't the only place in Indiana confronting these cuts. According to Early Learning Indiana, over 32,000 children are on the CCDF wait list.
So there are thousands of people out there that want a job and want to work, but they have no place to send their children.
Several child care providers are encountering unemployment, according to the Indiana Association for the Education of Young Children. Felicia Bright, a provider in Marion County, says without support, many providers like her may have to raise prices, cut enrollment, or close. The bill is now headed to the House of Representatives for further consideration. Lawmakers have 1 month left in the legislative session to pass this bill. In Muncie, Lauren Burris, NewsLink, Indiana.
United Daycare Center offers programs like free high-quality pre-K in hopes of easing families financially. To stay updated on Indiana child care cuts and CDFV vouchers changes through 2026, visit the Family and Social Services Administration page on in.gov.
The Department of Homeland Security plans to issue body cameras to all its federal officers on the ground in Minneapolis.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem made the announcement today in a social media post, saying the move is effective immediately. CNN's Reed Binion reports.
They generally tend to be good for law enforcement because people can't lie about what's happening.
President Donald Trump reacting to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's announcement that all DHS officers on the ground in Minneapolis will be issued body cameras.
Generally speaking, I think 80% good for law enforcement.
Noem said the body camera program will be expanded nationwide as funding is available, with her department deploying cameras to DHS law enforcement across the country. This comes amid a nationwide backlash after the separate fatal shootings last month of 2 protesters by federal agents in Minneapolis, Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
People from all walks of life in the United States are very upset.
On Monday, a judge lifted his order requiring federal investigators to preserve evidence from the Preddy shooting scene. The judge said federal officials had assured him the evidence would be properly maintained. Also Monday, authorities in Minnesota ruled Preddy's death a homicide, meaning it was caused by another person as opposed to being an accident, suicide, natural causes, or undetermined.
As we gather here tonight, I just want to thank everybody for coming out and remembering Alex.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
This announcement comes amid ongoing protests against ICE activity in Minneapolis.
Today, the House passed a sweeping spending bill to end the partial government shutdown. President Donald Trump is expected to sign the bill quickly, ending the shutdown after 3 days. But the deal only temporarily funds the Department of Homeland Security, creating another funding deadline in just 2 weeks. The vote marks a hard-fought win for President Trump and House Speaker Mike Johnson. They'd pushed the GOP lawmakers to back the measure despite some resistance.
The man accused of the assassination of Charlie Kirk was back in a Utah state court today. The defense team for 22-year-old Tyler Robinson wants the prosecutor's office removed from the case. They allege there is a conflict of interests. That's because a prosecutor's 18-year-old child was in the crowd at Utah Valley University when Kirk was shot. Robinson has not yet entered pleas for the slew of charges he's facing. These include aggravated murder, felony use of a firearm, obstruction of justice, and witness tampering. His arraignment is set to take place in May.
President Trump released a rendering of his White House ballroom on social media today, saying it's the first one shown to the public. Trump says the new East Wing has a ballroom that has, quote, been asked for by presidents for over 150 years, end quote. According to the architect behind the project, the expansion will feature a 22,000 square foot ballroom with seating for 1,000 people. By contrast, the executive mansion of the White House is 55,000 square feet. Trump has said the ballroom will be fully funded by private donations, with this estimate on the price starting at $200 million last summer and increasing to a current price tag of $400 million.
A federal judge today heard arguments in a lawsuit brought by Senator Mark Kelly. By the end of the hearing, the judge appeared to side with the retired naval officer and Arizona Democratic senator. Kelly is asking the court for a preliminary injunction. An injunction would block Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's move to cut his military retirement pay and reduce his rank. It's in response to a video posted in November showing Kelly and 5 other lawmakers urging service members to refuse unlawful orders. Kelly's lawmakers argue the punishment violates the First Amendment and amounts to retaliation for protected speech. The Pentagon has said it will not comment on ongoing litigation. U.S. District Judge Richard Leon said his decision in the matter is likely to come by February 11th. You know, Amelia, I feel like we've had such a busy January.
I know, I can't believe it's almost been a month for classes that's gone by, and it's been so cold.
Exactly. Some of that cold does make it drag on a little bit, but other than that, it's been a perfect semester.
I know, it's been so good so far. Hopefully we'll have a warm-up soon. Right, Elizabeth?
Right, we can only hope. We've had such cold days in the whole month really, and we're sitting still at those below freezing temperatures, 24 in Indianapolis, 26 in Lafayette, 24 in Terre Haute, and 23 here in Muncie. Tonight, we're looking at a low of 15 degrees, cloudy conditions all throughout, with those winds coming from the north-northeast at about 7 miles an hour. Now, what I'll be tracking is those sub-freezing temperatures, possibly more snow coming up on Friday, and increasing temperatures in my full forecast.
Coming up, Disney is getting a new CEO. Find out who is taking over the position.
And 2 Elon Musk companies are merging. Hear what Musk told employees.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing to keep us focused.
A habit we never skip, to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game? To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health. Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mental health. Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Welcome back. Disney has announced who will take over for Bob Iger as CEO. That leadership role will go to Josh DeMario. He's the current chair of the company's parks division. The promotion could bring good news for investors who have watched Disney stock struggle for years. The company is involved in several highly competitive spaces like streaming TV and movies. Its theme park division, though, is seen by many as Disney's rock. It can typically be counted on to deliver profits when other divisions struggle. Disney TV head Dana Walden will become the president of the company and chief creative officer.
SpaceX has acquired the artificial intelligence company xAI, merging 2 of Elon Musk's most ambitious ventures. In a memo to employees, Musk cited the need to build data centers in space as a main driver for the deal. He said current advances in AI require immense power and cooling, and that moving those operations into orbit is the only logical solution. SpaceX is already seeking FCC permission to launch a constellation of 1 million satellites into orbit. That effort aims to provide a solar-powered network to meet explosive data demands. The SpaceX deal with XA1 creates the most valuable private company in the world.
While home buyers seem to have an advantage in the housing market these days, renting may be the smarter move. A new study from LendingTree found that home buyers in the U.S. are paying nearly 37% more than renters each month. That difference is greater in some cities like San Francisco, California, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and New York City, where mortgages can run between $3,200 to $4,000 plus each month. Renting in those cities is close to $1,600 cheaper per month. On the other side of the spectrum, cities like Phoenix, Arizona, Orlando, Florida, and Columbia, South Carolina have a small gap between rent and mortgage costs.
Will those temperatures reach above freezing? Find out after the break.
After his wife passed, my neighbor Larry started drinking a lot. He was in distress and acting out. He had guns around, and I didn't want anything bad to happen. I pressed pause. Our local authorities filed a firearm restraining order to temporarily remove the guns. It gave Larry the time he needed to get help. It wasn't easy, but we got through it together. Learn more at illinois.gov/pause to heal.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. Yesterday, the groundhog saw his shadow, which means 6 more weeks of winter, which are we really going to see that? We'll find out in just a second. We're looking outside at Ball State's campus right now. We're filled with clouds. You can't really see. There's no stars in the sky. It's full of clouds all across Ball State's campus. We're sitting below that freezing temperature all across the board right now. 24 in Indianapolis, 26 in Lafayette, 24 in Terre Haute, 28 in Bloomington, and taking a closer look here in Muncie, we have 23 in Muncie, 26 in Marion, 21 in both Anderson and in Newcastle and in Richmond. Now for the next 12 hours, we're staying pretty consistent all throughout, sitting at the lower 20s, and even tonight we're seeing about a low of 15 degrees, cloudy conditions like we saw in that Cooper Science Cam. The outside is filled with those clouds. Those winds will come from the north-northeast at about 7 miles an hour. Now, as you're headed out that door tomorrow morning, you're definitely going to want to have time to prepare to start that car, and you're definitely going to want to bundle up. 15 degrees tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. By noon, 22 degrees, and that temperature doesn't rise whatsoever. By 5 p.m., also 22 degrees. Those conditions are staying partly cloudy all throughout. The sun does try to peak out around noon with those winds coming from the north-northeast at about 6 to 8 miles an hour. Now, those wind chills, it's more of what it's going to feel like, and tomorrow morning around 8 a.m., it's going to be 15 degrees, but it'll feel more like 0 degrees in Muncie, -1 in Marion, -2 in Anderson, and even -2 in Richmond, and this doesn't get much better all throughout the next coming of days. And even on Thursday morning around 8 a.m., we have -6, it'll feel like in Muncie, -6 even in Marion, and -7 in Anderson. These temperatures aren't rising very much with the wind chill, but we do have these overcast all throughout the weekend. But when we reach Friday around 4 p.m., we're going to start seeing that snow come into our viewing area, and it's covering the majority of Muncie. So definitely want to keep that in mind if you're heading out the doors on Friday afternoon. And this does clear out by early Friday morning, leaving that overcast. And then, as we mentioned snowfall, we do have the wrap up of January. We've observed 13 inches of snow, which was really from that snowfall that we had 2 weeks ago, weekends ago. We had normal of 7 inches of snow. We normally see that, but we're still in that above average for that snowfall. And speaking of above average, we are in that above average for those temperatures. We've had 18 days of above average. It's hard to believe, but we've had 1 day normal and 12 below average. I think it's been a pretty cold January in my opinion, and I'm really hoping we start to see those temperatures really start to warm up, and we are seeing that in the next coming of days, which I know that groundhog did say we have 6 more weeks of winter, but we're starting to see those temperatures finally reach up in those above average. And in the next 7 days, we see that reflect. On Wednesday, it's going to be cold, 22 degrees by Thursday, 25, and we have that 40% chance of that snowfall at 4 p.m. on Friday, 35 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, we have 24 and 28, and by early next week on Monday, those temperatures start to rise. So 32, then we finally see those above freezing temperatures of 42 on Tuesday, when those lows are going to remain in the low teens all throughout. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the groundhog is kind of wrong.
I know, we're seeing that heat wave, 42
Yes.
next week. Woo, we don't need jackets.
Yeah, we won't need those jackets for sure.
Shorts and t-shirts, here we go.
Yes, I'm absolutely excited.
I love the little guy, but I am not happy with his predictions. So
I think he's a liar.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so.
Me too. Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth. There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Jackson White has a preview of sports.
Amelia and Peyton. Ball State women's basketball has a new player of the week, and one Ball State team has entered the top 10 in the nation. All this and more next in sports.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing we do to keep us focused.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game?
To drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health.
Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Find the resources you need to keep your mental health a priority.
Love your mind.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We can't play about our future or our finances. Make moves, set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up, stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things. This is pre-tirement.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jackson White with sports. Ball State women's basketball continues its strong start to the season as yet another player claims some hardware. Senior Tessa Towers was named MAC Offensive Player of the Week for the first time in her collegiate career. Towers, who transferred from Wisconsin before last season, has seen a large jump in productivity this year. The senior posted 15 points and 7 rebounds against Central Michigan before scoring a career-high 29 points and grabbing 11 rebounds against Kent State later in the week. So far this season, Towers is averaging 14.5 points, 8.3 rebounds per game, both notable jumps from last season. Towers and the Cards will be back in action at home against Northern Illinois on Wednesday. Keeping things on campus, the Ball State men's volleyball team has achieved a new national ranking. After sitting at 16th in the AVCA National Collegiate Men's Volleyball preseason poll, the Cards have climbed up the rankings and now sit at 9th. The Cards are on a 5-game winning streak and have a record of 8-1 and are undefeated at home. They will now look to continue this dominant start against Queens on Thursday at Worthen Arena. Skating into the Olympic scene, a Winter Olympic venue is changing its name. U.S. Figure Skating, USA Hockey, and U.S. Speed Skating teams created a hospitality space in the Milan Hotel. The space would be used for Olympians and their families to relax, watch the events, as well as host the medal ceremonies for the athletes. It was originally named the Ice House, but has now been changed to the Winter House. The name change comes after protesters in Italy due to the Trump administration saying it would send ICE agents to Italy to assist with security at the Olympic Games. The first event of the Olympics will be tomorrow morning, and tomorrow with the opening ceremony for the Winter Games being on Friday at 2 p.m. Keeping it on the big stage, Super Bowl 60 is set for Sunday night. But before the game even kicks off, one town is already making changes to honor a player with local ties. Residents of San Clemente, California, the hometown of Seattle Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold, wanted to honor the signal caller on his achievements. So they've been referring to the town as Sam Clemente ahead of the big game. San Clemente High School, Darnold's former high school, even raised a banner featuring the QB in his Seahawks uniform. Darnold's high school coach, Jamie Ortiz, is certainly a fan of the name change.
It shows that this is a special place for special people, and Sam is a great example of what this town can produce.
Be rooting for in the Super Bowl coming up this Sunday.
I know, I'm looking forward to it. There's a whole lot to get ready for. Super Bowl, always a crazy time.
I am very excited for the halftime show. Bad Bunny, I can't wait to see him perform.
It's going to be exciting. Coming up, the Smithsonian Zoo announces birth of a baby elephant.
And we have one more look at your weather. Stay with us.
My son Ricky took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me in ways that I never knew that I could be broken. And I contemplated suicide. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe. Store your gun securely, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo.
Mom was always organized, but she started forgetting to pay her bills on time.
And she'd buy the same gifts over and over.
Telling the girls about my Alzheimer's diagnosis was really hard.
At first we had our cries, but then we were like, okay, let's make a plan.
Early detection gave us time to adapt together.
It's so important for you to think about what you can do and making the most of what you have.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. The Smithsonian National Zoo is celebrating the birth of an endangered Asian elephant for the first time in about 25 years. It says she was born yesterday to elephants named Nihileen and Spike. The zoo says Nihileen's pregnancy lasted almost 21 months, and this is her first calf. The public gets to help name the baby by voting with donations. The zoo says its new addition will spend her first month or so bonding with her mother. I would just kill to be not an elephant right now in the warm.
I
so
know.
Nice.
Yes. But it's all soak in, but unfortunately we are still looking at some of those colder temperatures.
Yeah, we're seeing some of those colder temperatures, but if we take a look, we'll actually start to see those warmer temperatures at the early next week. So tomorrow it's going to be cold, 22 degrees, definitely going to want that coat. By Thursday, 25 degrees, and Friday, like I mentioned before, we have that 40% chance of snowfall around 4 p.m. On Saturday and Sunday, 24 and 28. Early next week, we start to get above that freezing point on Monday, 32, and on Tuesday, 42 degrees, and those lows are going to stay in the low teens all throughout. And honestly, that 42 degrees, I would not mind being outside without a coat, and the zoo might be nice to hang out there.
The Indy Zoo,
yes,
here you go.
Yes, there you go.
Well, thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Well, that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page, YouTube channel, and WCRD 91.3.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to cardinalmediabsu.com. Have a great night and stay safe.